should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and day, 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 day.
Happy Monday!
Woo! Happy Monday, happy Monday.
Guys, welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda, that's Abby. We have moved from Match Me Abroad to 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, and we are on season 7, episode 1, C'est la vie, and C'est la vie. It was so good. What were your overall thoughts, Abby?
I love it. I love it. My overall thought was, oh, all of these people are living beyond their means.
100%. Hey, Tisway. Listen, my overall thoughts were, I can already predict to you what's going to happen this season. Like, the red flags are flagging, the lack of thought and processing all the way through about what this relationship is going to look like is a hot mess. People are already like giving warnings out, and we're just going to ignore all the warnings. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I really was excited to see a couple that they're already in the U.S. and they're leaving the U.S. That's a contrast I don't think that 90 Day The Other Way has ever shown before. It's usually the American going, but she's been here for several years, and she's going back to home country. So I'm like, I want to see this comparison. I want to see how this works out.
100%. Ty's loving the new look, Abby. Loving the new look.
Thank you, girl. Go to my YouTube. You'll see my wig mishaps that have took a while to make it work.
Hi, Raydella. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, y'all.
All right, let's jump right in. Chloe, 23, Boxford, Massachusetts. Competitive cheerleader, spoiled princess, sales rep, works for her mama shipping and logistic company, allegedly makes 6 figures. I mean, that's the way you do it, y'all. Your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your brother, they hire you and pay you 6 figures. Like,
yeah. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a little side quest for Chloe. It doesn't matter how it comes out. She is got a firm, solid ground to land on, whatever happens.
Yeah, must be nice. So she fell in love with Jonathan, who's 32 from Aruba, and he is a pirate entertainer. And when I say I died of laughter, I said, y'all, she's leaving her cush life for a pirate? For a pirate, Abby?
Side quest. This is a side quest for Chloe.
Listen, this 23-year-old, and he already cheated. I'm not even there yet. A cheating pirate? Stop it. Stop it. You might as well just put the patch on and call it a day. So she met Jonathan on a girls' trip. She found him cocky at first. Y'all always go with your gut instinct. Your first impression, your gut instinct, exactly who that person is. Mm-hmm. But like, no, he's not going to run that on me. So they met up at a bar, and that was it. She booked a bunch of flights, a lot of times, to come see him. I'm interested to find out if he ever did any of the work. Did he pay for any of her trips? Did he come and see her in Boston? Because, you know, all those things are important, but guess what? I know he didn't. So 11 months they did long distance, and now she's going to move to Aruba to be with her pirate. And she's leaving her mom behind. Her mom's her best friend. Her mom is packing for her, which was another like little red flag for me. You're 23 years old and you are clearly, you said you were a spoiled princess, but you're going to have to do some of that stuff on your own, right? Like, who's going to do your laundry when you're there if your mom is having to pack for you at the age of 23? Mom has
to get there, and it's going to be like an episode of Simple Life.
Her mom has some doubts about her leaving all of this stuff behind. Her mom feels like, you know what, I worked so hard to provide for my daughter to have the best opportunities, the best of the best. And it's just going to be a way harder life for her in Aruba. And, you know, that privilege that she's living with is going to be a rude awakening when she gets to Aruba, or it won't be, you guys. It might be like Abby saying, a nice little side fling, lasts for 2 months, and then she comes back, and guess what? She comes back, she can still live at her mama's house like she already does with a 6-figure income. It's not like her mom's going to say, oh, you can't come back to work for me, because her mom actually wants her to take over the business once the mom is, you know, into her retirement years.
Literally the only thing that could go wrong is if she gets pregnant. Other than that, she can stay there for 2 months, 6 months, a year, and she's still golden. Just don't get pregnant, Chloe.
Say that again. Tanya says, is it me or could Chloe and Luke be twins? I mean,
I didn't see it, but now that you said it.
Yeah, right? So her friend Jen. Now, I was a little confused by Jen. I'm a little confused by her. So Jen is rushing over under the pretense that she was going to be saying goodbye to her friend Chloe, but really she is going there to stop her from going to Aruba because she thinks it's a completely bad idea. And one of the reasons she thinks it's a bad idea is because she said that, you know, you go to Aruba to just party and have a good time, but you don't move there for a guy because they're used to the tourists coming in. They're used to hooking up with tourists and all of that. But then she met her own husband in Aruba on the girls' trip and clearly did the K-1 visa and brought him over. Mm-hmm. And he not only lived next to her, Darren, her husband, not only lived next door to Jonathan, but grew up with Jonathan, was in the same industry as Jonathan. Birds of a feather flock together. Don't act like you're, just because you brought your man over, that he's any better than this Jonathan character.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. It felt more hater than I love my friend to me. But we'll see more of her, so I guess it'll reveal her true personality. But the intensity that we're seeing from her, I was just like, I don't know. I see this as like a side quest for Chloe. You're her friend. You obviously don't want her to get hurt, but you also know that she's got the same foundation to return to that we know that she's got to return to. So I'm not understanding why there was so much like venom in her, like, no, you cannot do this. You shouldn't do this. And I'm different because he moved to the U.S. What is that? What is that?
It was weird to me. It was totally weird. I didn't really. I was like, ooh, it's what is it? The kid. I
couldn't put my finger on what it was. Is it like, is she saying that the culture of Aruba is X and X is not as good as being in the US? Like, what? Something else was rubbing me the wrong way about the way she was describing my marriage is okay because he came here, but you going to Aruba is not okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That logic doesn't make any sense. Because you just brought your husband over and she's going to what she's hoping is going to be her husband. Like, birds of a feather. That's all.
Also, 23 is so young to get married. Anyway. So young.
How do you go from living at Pardon?
I got married at 23. It's such a young age to get married.
People do it. I know a lot of people that get married early and are still married. So, you know, to each their own.
Yes.
Your S1A is saying hello to you, Abby.
Hello.
So Jen feels like Chloe's making a mistake, and she's like, he's not even faithful. He took another girl on a trip to Florida, tried to lie and say that they were in an open relationship, which is the new thing, by the way, you guys. As soon as a guy gets caught cheating, he's like, oh no, I'm in an open relationship. Does that person you're in that relationship know that it's an open relationship? Because you sound crazy. So Chloe's like, you know what? I don't care. I forgave him, and I think it's going to work out. So she's off to Aruba. Yeah. Laszlo said that she got married at 20. So the youngins are doing it. Let's move on to Manon, 32, from Marseille, France. She's already like standing out as the character I am enjoying. She lives in LA. She was in the process of doing a Fat Babes photo shoot. She's very body positive. She started as a social media page, and it grew and it grew and it grew from there. Then she got a brand deal all the way in France. They invited her over to LA, and she stayed, and she grinded it out. And she met Anthony, 33, who's from Corona, California. They've been married for 3 years. They're new parents to a little baby named Benjamin, and they're complete opposite. She's an extrovert. He's an introvert. He's a stay-at-home dad. What were your thoughts about that, Abby?
I was actually loving the fact that he's not a stay-at-home dad in name, but he actually is doing parenting and housework. I was like, that is refreshing to see. He's not just some lame who's sitting on the couch playing video games. He's parenting and home caring, taking caring. We know what I'm trying to say.
Yes. She's a provider. She's an executive marketing director and agency owner for a social media and digital marketing company. And she's feeling overwhelmed and overworked. And because she's working so much, she doesn't have that bond that she sees her husband has with their baby. And she's starting to feel resentful towards him. And their relationship is cracking, right? Mm-hmm. They are pulling apart from each other instead of coming together. And so because of that, they have decided that they're going to sell the house, move back to France full time. They're going to live with her family, and she's doing it to save her marriage, to save her family, to have a better quality of life. And the plan is for her to be the stay-at-home parent and him to go work full time. Now, y'all, I immediately had some issues with this as we move on, but I want to stop in this moment right here. And do you think, Abby, that this is a well thought out good move for this family?
No. And the reason why I say that is because he's not fluent in French, and he has no outside of the home work history. So the idea that he's going to be able to go and get a job in France quickly, a place that we already know is not super friendly to English-speaking Americans, is beyond, to me, it does not make sense for that to be the plan. If they said, we're going to move to a different town in the United States where it's cheaper to live, and then she can commute or fly every so often to LA to continue her businesses, I feel like that would make a lot more sense, especially given her whole, I don't like the way that I was treated when I lived in France, and I don't actually have a very good relationship with my family because they get on to me about my weight and everything else. I appreciate that they're trying to change something because they want their marriage to work, but this is not the something that I think is the best plan, just from the snapshot that we've got so far.
Becca says the idea is merde. Absolutely.
I know what that word means.
100%. 100%. Um, her family body shames her back home. And one of the reasons that she wanted to do this last photo shoot is to remind herself that we're beautiful in all shapes and sizes. She was bullied growing up, and she has a lot of resentment. She has a lot of trauma from that. So for her to quit her job and leave her company and all of that stuff and go back to somewhere where she was not treated well, even at her house, just doesn't seem, with her family members, it seems very toxic to me. And I'm not sure that this is the right move for them.
Right.
So Benjamin quit his job in security to become a stay-at-home dad. He knew after the first date that he was going to marry her. And we saw that as a theme, by the way, over and over in this episode, where these guys are like, I knew after the first date. I knew after the first date. So they dated 1 month into it. They moved in together. 6 months into it, he proposed. 7 months into it, they eloped, and they bought a house in a year. And I was like, I am living life wrong, first of all. How did they buy a house in Los Angeles? And when we get into it just in a bit, you guys, a house for less than $1 million, and it looked beautiful. Where is this?
I mean, when she said that she grind and got it out the mud when she arrived in LA and was homeless, she meant it. She meant it. She meant she spent every waking moment working and getting her dollars together.
Yeah, I don't mean that part. I mean, where did you find a house that is beautiful as what it looks like in Los Angeles for less than $1 million? Hey, Vanessa. Hey, girl. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, I would like to know. But anyways, their marriage is starting to fall apart. So they're moving to France to save their marriage. They put their house on the market, sold within a week for $810,000. They made an $88,000 profit. And the kicker is they have to be completely out of the house within 2 weeks.
That's a crazy time frame.
They must, Vanessa, they must live in, well, I don't know if they live in Corona.
Well, they said that he is from Corona, but that they currently live in Los Angeles. So
yeah,
I don't know the different areas in Los Angeles the way that you do, Linda, but are there some areas where maybe it's a little bit less desirable so you can get a nice house for under $1 million? No.
Like Corona, no, yeah, like Corona, less desirable. Riverside, less desirable. Lancaster, less desirable, in my opinion, but I could be wrong, you guys. That's just personally my opinion. Okay, throwing that out there. So they sold the house. They go to try to sell the car, but they owe $27,000 on the car. They only offer $15,000. She gets really upset by that. She's like, no, that doesn't make sense. But you know, her husband was ready to go for it. He was ready to go.
So confused about this car situation. How do you owe $27,000 on a car? I've never had a car that's over $20,000. I was like, how do you owe $27,000 on a car? I
mean, you know, wasn't it a Jeep? It was like a nice car. It was like a nice vehicle. I have concerns already, you guys, about Anthony. And my concerns are, I don't know if he says he's shy, but I don't know if he's a go-getter. And that's where I'm concerned about, because he then goes on to say that they see life very, very differently. He's cool with just surviving, and she wants more. She wants more. So this $88,000 that they made off of a profit, all of a sudden they started saying it was $70,000. So maybe they paid some bills off, but he feels like $70,000 is a lot. And she doesn't, because you know what? You're going to go to France And both of you are not going to be working. You're going to blow through that $70,000 that you had in profit from selling your house. That's just facts, because he is going to go. He doesn't speak the language. He's been out of the workforce, but he thinks, oh, and this is literally him. He's like, you know what? I'll just get there, and hopefully when I, pick up the language, then I can go and get a security job, and then, or they can train me. That doesn't sound like plans.
It doesn't sound reasonable. It doesn't sound like he's been online to see what kind of jobs are even available. How much do those jobs pay? What are the qualifications for them? It just sounds like hopes and wishes. I do think that he's not as passive as he comes off. Like we see him speak up for himself later on. But I don't think he's realistic in what he thinks is available to him in terms of employment.
I
mean, he would be better off if he got a remote job teaching English, to be honest, and just did that for a while just to get some recent work history down.
You guys, I'm not for it. I think that, first of all, I'm just not for it. I feel like he doesn't have the drive and determination to be the leader in his relationship. I'm not seeing it, and maybe I'll see it later, but this first episode, he comes across as, and even Abby, when he stood up for himself, I feel like because he said she's the best thing that has happened in his life, and I believe that, because guess what? He can just do whatever. He doesn't have to worry about how the bills are getting paid. He doesn't have to worry about anything, and he doesn't show me the ambition, like, hey, yeah, you know what? I see that you are working so hard. I see that you want to have a relationship with our child. Let me take the initiative to start already learning the language before we get there. Or how about this? If you guys have been together for 3 years, why have you not learned the language so that you guys can both speak the language at the house, and your child can be bilingual, and you can also, meet your wife who's from another country where she is. So she speaks your language. You made no effort up until you're now moving to France. You still don't know how to speak French.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not buying that all of a sudden he's going to get to France and then he's going to have some determination and drive. I'm not seeing it.
I have a question for you, Linda.
Hmm.
Would it bother you if you had a baby and the baby had a preference for the other parent more than you?
I mean, I think that happens all the time anyways. I would be the preferred parent. But I wouldn't resent my partner over it. It would just be like, obviously our child is making poor choices.
So this is like funny to me because I was not the preferred parent in the first few years, and it was a reprieve for me because I was breastfeeding. So it felt like I was finally having a chance to breathe. And then every time Taylor would come to me, it was like, oh, you only want me for milk. Like, you don't even want to hang out with me. like I'd be trying to hold Taylor like this. And you know how babies do this? Because they're trying to peck around and find the boob.
Yeah.
It would be all of that. So like, I didn't feel resentful about it, but my sister felt resentful of me because I lived closer to my nephew. And so when he had a daughter, my great niece, she had a preference for me over her grandmother. So that was fun to rub in her face.
Okay. Anthony and Manon invite his side of the family over. So we have the Sarah, the sister, Jacob, her husband, Dana and Randy, mom and dad, and Nick, his brother. They all come over and they're going to have a charcuterie board. What is it? A charcuterie board. You're not saying it right.
I don't know how to say it. I'm not even going to pretend. It's one of those things that I'm not even going to. It's like faux. I can't say how it's supposed to be pronounced either. It is what it is.
Charcuterie board. Anyways, he's telling the family today that they're moving to France, and the sister, listen, y'all, what you're not about to do is be in my business like this. So Anthony tells the family, they're in shock. They're like, oh my goodness. They said something that piqued a little ignorant vibes, like my neck, behind my neck, the vibes just were shaking. When the mom said, so what? His first words are going to be in French? Like, that's a bad thing? I was like, oh, the American of it all.
And that was a really weird one because they're both white. So I was like, what is this?
Oh, it's a new layer. Listen, there are layers to how some Americans are. I was like, that is crazy business. That is crazy business. You were trying to say that it would be a bad thing if your grandkid spoke French first. You don't see how having another language is
Would be
actually
helpful,
beneficial in your entire life.
That's really crazy.
So they're like, yeah, we sold the house. We're moving to France. We're leaving in 2 weeks. And the sister Sarah goes off and says a bunch of stuff. And then breaks Manon's confidence. So Manon had a moment that she was not happy with her husband. She went to her sister-in-law and vented. And in that vent, said some things that she probably shouldn't have said. But Sarah, what you weren't supposed to do is now tell the whole family their business. So she's like, you said being with my brother makes you want to die inside and that you want a divorce. Even the dad, who was just like, stop talking, Sarah, mind your business. The dad said to his own daughter, she told you that in confidence.
Mm-hmm. If that was her husband beside, or maybe that was her brother, he was trying to stop her. The dad was trying to stop her. Everybody was trying to stop her. And she just kept going like a train, like a freight train.
Yeah, it was terrible. So Anthony is like, you know what? You're really actually getting on my nerves. And Manon went off and she's like, get out. She's like, I'm done. We got our first I'm done. Welcome back, 95 I'm done. So, yeah, hardcore. I'm done. Can't wait. Can't wait, because you know you're going to hear about 1,000 of them throughout the season. Because that's what we do on 90 Day Fiance. I loved seeing Jenny and Sumit back. I love it. I love it. I love it. They just seem like family and familiar. Ty says, I think she wanted the family to hear and side with her, but it backfired. I agree. I agree with you. So this segment, Abby, was my favorite. So we see Jenny and Sumit back. We see his long, luscious hair and the way they were panning the camera, you guys. I was dying of laughter. I was like, is this a hair commercial? And then he's getting his beard all done. And then all of a sudden, Jenny's face pops into the screen. And I was like, that is so good. But then it got better, you guys, because then he like shook his hair like he was, I don't know, some hair model. And boom, he looked the other way, and his mom was standing right there. I couldn't, you guys. It was perfect. It was perfect. So it's Jenny, Sumit, and Sadhna, and I am just about this life right now. So after 15 years being together, and I want to talk about this, you guys. because I did the math. So, first of all, has it been 15 years?
Well, they were, at the time when we were introduced to them, they had been online dating for already several years. So I think they're including that in the 15 years.
But I want to even pull it a layer back more, Abby, because Jenny's 67, which means she met him at 52. He's 36, so that means he was only 21 years old.
Yes, he was very young.
52 and 21, y'all. 52 and 21.
Now,
Anyway,
she did initially lie, but she did find out the truth before she went to India.
oh, I mean, and that's a very nice way of putting it. I'm about to go there, though. So apparently, Sadhna has finally accepted their relationship, and it's been a long journey to get there. You guys, he catfished her. If you guys remember, he's a complete phone catfish. Had a picture of a model, wasn't her. She still fell for him. She fell in love with the catfish, but then gave the non-catfish Sumit a chance. Then she went to India to see him, be with them, and to come to find out that he full on married someone else behind her back, didn't tell her a word, and still let her come all the way to India. Then, you guys, he stalled. He was supposed to get divorced. The divorce was taking too long. He finally gets divorced, and then he's stalling. She's begging him to marry her. She finally gives him an ultimatum, you guys, and they get married in secret, which causes a more rift between him and his parents. And so they disowned him. And fast forward, now the mom, because it really was the mom that was leading this, has finally accepted their relationship. And that just happened over the last year.
Right. And we skipped the part about them trying to get Jenny to become a Hare Krishna.
Yeah, because that's a side note, but hilarious. Tanya says, it's sad that all the time Jenny has spent in India, the only thing she picked up was the fashion. I mean, again, I stand firm in believing, at least try to learn the language. I don't understand. You're somewhere for years and years and years. At least try.
Yeah, I don't think that when your partner has a different first language, I don't think that you're really meeting them and all of their humor and all of their personality if you can't get into their language. That's what I think.
And I think it's lazy, to be honest. I just think it's lazy.
Yeah. Look, Joslo remembered a detail that even I forgot. She was friends with Sadhna and didn't reveal that she was with her son. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was another layer of issue that they had. Uh-oh, did I freeze?
No, I'm thinking because I remember that, but if I put it in the whole scheme of things, that doesn't even really make sense because they met as a catfish.
But then she pretended she's just going to come and stay with her friend Sadhna and did not reveal that she was dating her son. At her house.
Yeah, that part still, again, it doesn't register for me. So you're saying that, or they're saying that Jenny and Sadhna were friends before she told Sadhna that she was dating Sumit, but they met online long distance as a catfish. So when were they friends?
I don't know. I don't remember the timeline, but I do remember Sadhna saying that Jenny lied to her.
Yeah, I think when Jenny came to visit, and I don't know, that's the part, you guys, that I still am I know it, but in the timeline of things, I feel like that just some of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Do they ever tell us any numbers? Because I went back and was like, I don't think it's there. Maybe I missed it. Of what their like cost of living is.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
They haven't. But I'm not surprised that Sumit, because Sumit never, remember he tried to open a business? What happened to that business? Now you lost your job again. And then before you were working in a call center. So like, have you had any real long-term plans, Sumit? Like, I just don't even know, because I know that you guys were living off of Jenny's Social Security for a very, very long time. So like again, just like I said with Anthony, Sumit, when it comes to work, I'm not seeing the drive. I'm not seeing the vision. I'm not seeing, hey, I'm going to lead us into some financial stability.
No, never. He never gave off, I'm going to be financially responsible. He gave off, Jenny, when does your check get to here? And like, so they must have moved into a place that was way more expensive than her check, which is ridiculous to me.
Oh, yeah. So they moved into a new gated community. They've been living there only for 6 months. He lost his job, so now they can't afford the apartment. And he put it, his words, Abby, were, they're in a financial crisis. It just gave vibes like you don't want to work. You want to move in with your parents.
Oh, he's happy as a clam to move back in with his parents. And they have an issue between them that neither one of them really wants to really get down to the root of and deal with. He wants a bit of a servant wife. He wants Jenny to be pressured into being someone who cooks and cleans, and those are things that she's not. And so like, how have they been together for all these years when it's very clear that he wants that, and it's very clear that Jenny does not want to do that? Oh, Joslo said that her Social Security is around $630 a month. So they are living above $630 a month. That's crazy when you consider the conversion.
Yeah. So they're moving, and they're going to be in a multi-generational house, but even more like multi-generational house. We're looking at, they said 6 people, but they weren't including the kids. So it's really 7 people. And one of the things that was funny about this episode to me was the cleaning flashback, because, Jenny doesn't cook and Jenny does not clean. And when she was like trying to clean up, and Sadna was looking at her all crazy. And I remember, you guys, when we covered this, I talked so much poop about Jenny because y'all, like, you guys have a clean kitchen, and she had like dishes in the sink, everything all piled. Oh, it's terrible. It was terrible. Dust on the ground. Oh Lord. Jenny does not like to clean. Full stop. No. Oh yeah, no. Yeah. That small broom. Nasty spaghetti forever. See? Hey, girl, hey. We all remember. It was very traumatizing for all of us. Jenny's worried about this move affecting their relationship because they're finally in a good place, and she's finally been accepted by the parents and the family. But I'm going to tell you this right now. We all know that this is a terrible idea. It's horrible. A terrible idea. Terrible. Sadna hasn't changed, and now you're moving into her space. It's not your space as a couple. It's the parents' space that you are not now going to pay rent. So how are you going to earn your keep when you already know that Sadna is very, very demanding, expects things a specific way, as she should? It's her house. Mm-hmm. So, like, I already see, again, this is a bad idea.
This is horrible. I'm like, this must be some kind of torture ritual, some kind of like sadism or masochism, whichever one is the right word, because why not just move to a cheaper apartment?
That's the part I don't, because he doesn't want to work and he does want to live with his parents, because we'll get to that too. So they meet with his brother and his sister-in-law, Amit and Shri, and they're all going to live together. So Sadhna, her husband Anil, Jenny, Samit, Amit, Shri, and their baby, Anshu. That's 7 people, y'all. And one of them is a like bossy alpha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All
I
gonna
have a
live
question
together.
for you. You're familiar with multi-generational housing. So in your experience, how do you deal with like household chores and using the kitchen? Like how does that normally flow? Is it really the matriarch directs everything, or is there a different form that you know?
Everyone is in charge of their own family units, and you just come together in a house. So if you're lucky enough to have a house that has different levels, then each family is going to stay on a specific level and they're in charge of those spaces. Yeah, you'll come together to eat, break bread, but everyone makes sure that they take care of the house. I'm trying to see how big this house is that they're all living in, because when they were moving, it looked like it was an apartment, but maybe it's multi-level house. Because I was like, why are they pulling the furniture from the bottom to the top? You usually do that when there's like no elevator, it can't fit, whatever.
Right.
Is it a house? Is it a multi? Uh, what am I trying to say?
Multi-level? No.
Yeah. Is it a multi-level house? Well, like, what is it? I'm going to need to know more.
Right.
That being said, um, you know, Shri tells Jenny that Sadhna's going to expect her to act a certain way, dress a certain way, be a certain way, and show up places a certain way. And that's just what it is culturally for daughter-in-laws. And now Amit, the brother, is worried and tells Samit that he's worried that his wife is going to have double the duties, because we all know Jenny doesn't cook or clean.
Okay, like this conversation made me irate, yeah, irate, but for a whole different reason. He's like, my wife's gonna have more work to do because Jenny doesn't pull her weight. Never once did he suggest that Submit should do some work because he ain't working outside the house right now, or that he himself should do some housework.
True, but that's also a cultural thing, right? That's an Indian cultural thing.
So he could say, look, your wife doesn't cook or clean. My wife's not doing it all, so you're gonna have to cover your wife. That's who you choose to marry. That's who you're bringing in the house. So you need to cover her.
Yeah,
Or he could say, I don't want my wife taking on the bulk of all this responsibility, so I'm going to help.
Yeah. I don't know how they would, like, how would he think of that if that's not his cultural norm?
I mean, I think of things that are not my cultural norm all the time. Why are we limiting his ability to experience something else by culture, or his experience to think of something else by culture?
I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess. Either way, Submit is the winner in all of this, right? Because he gets to move back home. He gets to not be at work. And, he thinks that he's going to live with his parents forever. And that, you guys, since day one, is everything that he's wanted. So we are full circle. And the winner out of this is Samit.
Exactly.
That's all.
And now he's gonna watch his mom try to beat Jenny into submission.
Basically, that's exactly what's going to happen. Shri tells Jenny a little situation that she had with Sadhna, and how Sadhna, first of all, Shri was the favorite, right? And now she's not, because they had a disagreement, and Sadhna said that you've never done anything for us, which I'm sure is absolutely not true. And so the dynamics have changed, and now Jenny is Sadhna's favorite daughter-in-law. That's why I think that Jenny is also like, this is not a good idea. I just got in. She likes me. I'm the favorite. And now I'm going to have to come on in and live under her rules and regulations. And it's not going to go well because, like Sumit said, they are both very headstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Sumi wants to live there forever. Ever.
He has no intention on leaving. She thinks that this is temporary. He said, no, this is what I want. I want to stay here forever. She doesn't want to cook her clean. He wants her to cook her clean. Like, they have these fundamental differences that they've been able to ignore for the past several years of living together. And it's so weird.
He is driving. They are moving. It is move-in day. And he suggests to Jenny that she should make dinner for the family as a token of goodwill. I was like, what is she supposed to make? She can't cook.
She's proven this time and time again. He just thinks that if she just goes in the kitchen and keeps trying, I guess something will happen. But everybody don't want to deal with that, Sumi.
I think
everybody don't want that.
I think it's hilarious. I was like, what will she make?
All these years he's known she don't cook. I don't understand she can make a charcuterie board.
Facts. So they get there and the mom welcomes Jenny like she's a new bride. There's like this ritual thing that they do, and she has to kick over the rice, and they welcome them into the house. And then they start moving in, and I started laughing because Jenny has a bunch of stuff and a lot of clothes. And she admits that she has a lot of clothes, you guys. And the mom was being exactly who she's always been. She's already digging in Jenny's stuff. She's like, what is all this old clothes? Does this even fit? Does this fit you? And Jenny's like, it doesn't fit. So she gives it to Shri. I was like, how are you going to give something that doesn't belong to you away? What? And then she finds alcohol and is shaming Jenny for drinking. She's like, you drink? And then Sumit tried to say that it was for medicinal.
Sumit was like, no, you've got it wrong. We are apothecaries.
And the mom said, we have doctors here.
Listen, Sadhna was a comedian this episode.
This whole episode was fantastic. Fantastic. The mom's like, should I throw this remote? Jenny was like I don't know. She was like a linebacker, y'all. She grabbed that rum quick. She's like, if I'm going to live in this house and put up with all this, no, I'm going to need my alcohol. So good. So good. And last, but certainly not least, is Madeline, who's 20, from Medellin, Colombia, and Luke, 31. And you guys, I hated his intro, because who says they live the hills north of Los Angeles? Where is that? Where is that? What does that even mean? So do you live in Los Angeles? Like, I figured it out because I saw after, but why not just say where you actually really live? Because you want to say that you live in Los Angeles, when really you do not. Madeline is posers. Exactly. Posers do that, Becca. Posers.
So this guy presented me with a conundrum that I cannot wait to keep watching and figure out. his father speaks with an accent that I have never heard before. That is not an American accent.
Oh, it's not for sure. He's from somewhere. I thought it sounded very like Scottish, Ireland, like an accent that he lost over the years, but it was still there. That's what it sounded.
I was like, it's a little bit Appalachian, but not. But I can understand him, and I can't understand a lot of Appalachian people. So I was like, yeah, maybe he is Scottish, Irish, something like that. But like, you know, his parents moved here maybe, and then he was like isolated or something. Because that was very interesting. I've heard Irish Americans speak, and I can tell, oh, they're Irish. His was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Hopefully we find out. Madeline is a pageant girl. She started a year ago. She's been in 2 pageants. She won her 2nd pageant. So now she is a queen, in her words, and has taken on a pageant coach. She loves the attention. She thinks that her, beauty and brains is all there needs to be. And Luke met Madeline on a boys' trip to Colombia. They get to Colombia, he downloads a dating app, and meets her on the first night. Both thought each other were hot. Love at first sight. And then they spend the rest of his trip together. He goes back to the hills of North.
The
hills of North Hollywood. No, not even North Hollywood, because he's not really in Hollywood. The hills north of Hollywood. And then they're in this pseudo long distance relationship. Now, when I tell you that I was shocked and appalled about what he did next, but you guys, for him to show his loyalty and dedication to the one he loves, the one and only, he went ahead and tattooed her name by his eggplant, y'all. By his eggplant. Thoughts on that, Abby?
Luke is an impulsive guy who doesn't seem to stick to his ideas. So we'll see how this tattoo goes for him.
So then he's going to sell his house and move to Colombia. And I don't believe that he has a house to sell, but I don't believe some of the stuff, you guys. I'm just sorry, I just don't. But he's going to sell his house. He's going to move to Colombia. And he proposed after they were together for 9 months. And then he went down there. And it looked like to me like they got married, right? But I guess it was just a proposal, like a proposal ceremony. Because then he went back to the hills north of Los Angeles. And he's been gone a year. So he hasn't moved because he doesn't have the money to move, is what he said. And she's sick of waiting. So in order to appease her and not to lose her, he's going to get married in 3 weeks and then he's going to move there. And what's not making sense to me is, how do you not have the money to move down there, yet you have the money to have this elaborate wedding, but then you don't have the money because this jewelry sunglass line you invested in, you haven't made any money from it, and then you quit your job as a mining engineer before you left? Like, you should be working, like, work to the very last day. I don't understand that. And then you're trying to tell me that you didn't have the money to move, that's why you haven't moved. I'm hearing that there are debts. I'm hearing that you have a jewelry sunglass line that you haven't promoted, and so it's not selling. Then you quit your job and you said you were a mining engineer I think he said his undergrad is in geology, but then he has an MBA. I don't know if I'm believing all these things about him, you guys. I just don't think I believe it. And then he's trying to tell us, Abby, that he went and bought property just outside of Medellin, and he's going to build a resort.
Yeah. So when we met him last time, he was in debt. He's been in debt for years. But he never told her what the real financial picture is. So he's clearly living off of credit cards. These things aren't going to pan out. His dad read him to rights. His dad was like, you just start things and you don't finish them.
That's right.
So yeah, I don't have a lot of faith that Luth is going to come through. I just wish that he was being honest with Madeline about what his real financial picture is so that she can plan her life accordingly. I think it's rude to waste other people's time. Exactly. Yeah. They were supposed to open the nail shop last time, and he was like, I don't really have the money to do it right now. And yeah, they're every single couple. My theme at the top of when we started the show was everybody's living outside their means.
100%. And I just don't believe him. I feel like he's the child or whatever that cries wolf all the time. Like, you say you're doing something. I just don't believe you. I just don't believe it. I do love his dad, Jim. I think that he's a straight shooter, and you can tell that he really loves his son and he wants to be supportive. But he also said, you have a lot of debt and you need to save for your future. And weddings cost a lot. This hotel thing that you're saying, that's costing a lot of money. Like, what's going on with your jewelry line? Have you sold any? And now you've purchased this property to build this resort. And the dad just feels like he's making a lot of mistakes, a lot of poor life choices. And the dad's like, you jump into these ideas with no follow through. No follow through whatsoever. And Luke's like, well, I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. And the dad's like, I'm not saying you're stupid, but you do stupid things.
Yeah. And Medellin is one of the worst places to make a resort anyway. It's already like 2 hours to get from the airport. And then he said it's like an hour out of Medellin. So if it's the opposite direction, so now you're looking at 3 hours from the airport.
Yeah. So Jocelyn's talking about a luxury resort and how much that's going to cost. She's also saying that the shop is making money. So it still exists. Does it?
The nail shop?
I didn't even know that.
Well, if the nail shop is making money, it's because Madeline is making it make money.
You guys are hilarious in this live chat right now. So the dad is like, you know what? You're too impulsive and you gotta have a follow through. You got to figure this out. But at the end of the day, I just want you to be happy. And I want you to know that if it's about marriage, that's what it should be about. And does Madeline know about your debt? And he says in this episode that she does.
It doesn't sound like she does when she's talking about, need you to buy this and I need you to buy that. It doesn't sound like he's given her an accurate picture.
I don't think he's told her at all, Abby. She's talking about getting a helicopter into her wedding.
Right.
So
and he didn't say no. He didn't say, no, that's not possible. That's not in our budget. No. So no. Maybe he told her, I need to put a little bit of money away for something else, but he definitely hasn't said, I'm in extreme debt, because he is. He didn't say that.
Yeah. Lindsay with the helicopter emoji.
Yeah. What's crazy about that is, like, literally, I just saw a video on Instagram of the bride who was coming into her wedding in Brazil in a helicopter, and it crashed.
Oh.
And then she said this, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just saw this tragedy.
That's so sad.
Anyway. Yeah, it was really sad. And they have all the video footage because they were recording it. It was supposed to be like her entrance into the wedding. So it's recorded from like 5 different angles.
Well, that's sad story for that family. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, first episode, you guys, I'm all in. It feels like comfort food. It is hilarious. I think that Sweet and Jenny are going to be all the comedy that we need. Exactly what we think it is, the train wreck that it is. And Sadhna is going to be, what do you call like the equivalent of a bridezilla, but she's a momzilla. Like she is going to come in and
Monster-in-law.
monster-in-law. Chloe, go ahead, go to Aruba, have fun. You have a cush life. You're gonna come back to a cush life, probably brokenhearted, but a cush life. I think Manon is going to lose it when she gets back to France, and for all the reasons that she already knew were red flags. Her family, her husband, the people that bully her, and then I think money is going to be a huge issue. What were you going to say?
Because they're moving to a place where their money is not even going to be longer. Their money is going to shrink moving to France. Question: if you were going to, so my thought process watching Manon and Anthony was, why not just move to a different U.S. city? If you were going to suggest a U.S. city that they could move to where she could still run her business and go to L.A. every, like maybe once a month or whatever, what city would you suggest?
Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, you can have a cheap house. You can be in and out in LA in like an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Cheap. I was actually thinking Texas.
Texas might work for them, but Texas is a little further, right? So
yeah, the ride would be longer. The commute for her to get back to LA for business stuff would be a little bit longer, but they could absolutely afford a house easier in Texas.
And then he could go and do his whatever, like your security job. Like what were you? Were you a security officer, or do you have like a degree? Like, is it cybersecurity? I'm going to need more, because if it was cybersecurity, you could kind of technically do that from home as well. So that you're bringing more income in, and then everything would be more affordable. And then maybe you could share raising the child together. I don't know. That's what I would do. What I'm not about to do is think that this man who has not learned French the whole time that he's been with this woman is going to quickly go and learn French in less than 6 months.
Exactly. Because I'm smart and I struggle in French. I'm smart and I have a deep voice and I struggle in French. So yeah. Good luck to him trying to learn French in 6 months.
Joslo has a question for you.
Yes, Joslo. Are you going to be behind on the episodes or will you catch up? I don't know. I'm going to check with Linda and see if we want to try and do 2 a week, or if we want to just keep like a really slow pace of going through things and honor our bodies and our time and our commitment to life and ourselves.
That's the answer. What she said, Jocelyn, what she said, asking for a friend. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe, and head over to Abby's YouTube page and see some of her hair adventures. It's hilarious. And
look what Vanessa said. They could go to Vegas.
Vegas.
When would Josh take me to Vegas?
Take me to Vegas. Vegas. Plus Abby got a new boo. Right. New boo, new hair, new bae. Who did?
You won't see that on YouTube. You'll have to go to my Instagram for that. But you're welcome to come check me out, guys. I am I'm posting more, and I talk about immigration. I talk about What else talk about? Stuff. Lots of stuff. What's going on in the world? So come hang out with me.
Love it. Love it. Linda, do you have a Discord for 90-day chats? I should look into that. I do not. But as you guys know, I am building out the Melanated Way to TMW online. So it's going to be all things, you guys. I'm really excited. The website is coming along. It's going to launch shortly. So I'll definitely look into Discord because I do want to have all my social media in one place for you guys to find, because as you know, I do all the reality show stuff, TLC specific, but I do a lot of other stuff, a lot of entertainment reporting and interviews and some feel good stuff and some faith stuff. So yeah, come through.
Yes.
Hey, you guys. We will see you soon. Toodaloo.
Ta-ta for now. TTFN like Tigger.
That's good. That's good. And are we still on? I said end the stream. End stream.